Hello everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. It's Joy with Pajama Crafter Stamps. It's my favorite holiday of the year, so it's crazy that I'm not wearing green, so somebody probably needs to pinch me. But while we're waiting on people to hop on, I am going to bring up the broadcast on my phone, since for some reason I'm still not seeing the chat on my computer. It is quite maddening. So it looks like I have actually really good connection, is what it's saying. So here we go. Hi, Justine. You hear me? That's good. Yay! Okay, y'all. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. The only green I'm wearing is this cute little frog, and I'm not even sure that you can see it, but he's jumping along with the rainbow. You would think that I, of all people, would have something green since it's my favorite. But, yeah, we're not seeing that, so it's fine. Anyway, we are going to make a fun fold card, which you know that I struggle with. So there are going to be a lot of bloopers, and I want you to laugh along with me. Hi, Gemstar. Good to see you. So let's talk about this fun fold. And I probably already have it mixed up, but before we start scoring the real thing, we need a piece of cardstock that measures, hi Judy, 6.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. I did put all of that stuff in the description box below, and when I make the blog post, I'll make a downloadable PDF. Okay? Then we need this 10.5. See, I already don't know. 10.5 by 3.5 piece of paper, and you score it at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. So let's do it, because you know that this is the hardest part for me. No, really, it's going to be the gluing to make sure I don't have it backwards and I've got my fold set up. So I'm bringing out my crusty old Martha Stewart scoreboard that has seen better days. So I don't make sure that the long side is at 6.5. It looks like we've got about 7 people on here. I still can't see the chat, which, like I said, is extremely maddening. And we are going to score that at 4 1/4, because that is what my cheat sheet says, 4 1/4. So that would be that dot there. And we are using our pebbled cardstock. And I love pebbled cardstock because it's a really great craft. It pulls a little peach when you want it to. It pulls a little sandy when you want it to. And it's got some great flecks in it. To me, it's like the best. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you. And we are now going to score that. You notice that I always score it on both sides, and that's so I don't get a frayed edge. So 1 down and a million more to go. So I need to not lose that. Okay. We're doing the scoring first because, to me, this is the hard part of the actual card. So we are scoring at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8, and this is measuring 10.5 by 3.5, if I remember correctly. So we're going to go with 2, 3, 'Did I get that off of here? I got that off of here. Oh. We'll fix that. Okay. And then 5.5. And then again at 8. These old eyes sometimes make it get in the way. So one way that I fix that little indentation that I don't want is I will very lightly go over that and just flatten it. So I am going to reinforce my 2, my 3, my 5.5, and my 8-inch score. Okay? And I'm going to put the scoreboard away. And by away, we're going to mean slide it across the floor. All right. So when we score this, we're going to have the 8-inch side. So the 8-inch score over to the side, and we are going to bend it to the right. Okay? Did I say that right? Hold on. Look at me. Doing that to the right, this to the left. And we're basically just fanning these and reinforcing all of these scores. So it's going to look something like this. Let's see if I got it right. So that's what it's going to look like. They're almost identical. Okay? That's the fun part. So the part that I know that I'm not going to screw up is I have decided to use the I lied. I changed my mind. I am using the birthday bash papers because I want the solids, and I'm using the spring flats because we all know that that's my favorite in addition to the Pebble Beach. So we can go ahead and take this 5 1/4 by 4, like that. My chapstick just went rolling across the room. And we could go ahead and center that into this. The volume's very low is what I'm hearing. Does that help? You'll have to let me know. I can mess with things on my microphone, but we just had all kinds of... So, is it better, Gem Stark, now? Hi, Scrappy Annie. So, we are going to use this blue. And the reason I chose this blue, if you can see it, is it has a little bit of a gray, like, paper undertone to it. So, it really picks up this flex in the paper. Yeah, when I was... so, some of you may have saw me about 4 o'clock. I popped on to fix the cameras and stuff and to fix the audio. And like we had all kinds of reverb. It was a hot mess. So we're just going to try to get this centered. And when I say centered, I kind of want all my tops, like all my margins, top and bottom margins to kind of be the same. And that's why I'm using my glue. I'm going to use my little pig press, and I'm going to really adhere down those layers just because I like to be extra. Now this is a piece of the Pebbled Beach, and I embossed this. So we can either go with the debossed or the embossed side, it doesn't matter. I think I'm going to use the debossed side, and I'm just going to take some white pigment ink just to add a little something. I always like to give away the little extras so that, I don't want you to walk away from the lives and say, oh, I didn't learn anything. So 1, you're learning I don't know how to do fun folds. 2, we're using some pigment inks to bring out that texture. So I am going to zoom in. And hopefully you can see that texture a little bit more. So that is going to go on this panel. Okay? So the side that's not inked, I'm going to go ahead and glue with my Barely Art glue. So you can use any embossing folder from your stash, any inks from your stash, any pigment inks, anything that, like, whatever makes your heart happy. Did I already mess this up? See, look at me. I'm already trying to decide if I've messed this up. I did. Alright, we're holding off on that. We're going to let that glue dry. We'll come back. I'll figure out where that goes. I can't even. I think I've had so many ideas that I don't even know. And if we need to fix it, we will fix it. That's the beauty of crafting, you guys. I have changed my mind so many times today, but I don't know about you, but when I craft, I change my mind. I get so many ideas, and so we roll with it. So now I am lining that up so that it's centered top to bottom to kind of equal that panel. Now we are going to leave that alone. Okay, now do you see how this paper pack, this had nothing to do, two different paper packs, but these blues are almost identical, and that's because I really try hard when I make my my paper line that they will go together. Like, I like a lot of cohesiveness in our sets. Alright, we are putting this away. I actually may have wanted that to be that color. I don't know. You guys, we'll see what I'm doing. Alright, so what comes next is, so we are playing along with Craft Roulette, and so before I forget the Craft Roulette rules, our project is a trifold card. An element is nursery, colors are vegetable garden, random are stars or starry. So what better set to use for a nursery than our Savannah babies, which are darling. Well, you're going to basically see the entire stamp set here. So you get this sweet baby, you get dream big, little one, and then I think it says maybe there's a fifth one, and then you get these cute little littles. Okay, all right. So this one is skinnier. This is going to go on the front of the card, and we will talk about that later. So one thing that I know that we can do without messing up is we can take this and we can put it in the center there, okay? And the Copic coloring is going to come out soon. So that's what the goal of all of this is we're going to do a lot of coloring, but I wanted you to see how to do the fold in case coloring's not your thing. Now, just because I use Copics doesn't mean that you can't use a Hoo-Hoo, Olo, your water-based, your colored pencils. Like, I am not the person that says that you have to do what I do. It's just what I like, okay? So I thought he would go in the middle, okay? I thought he would go there. And if you guys want to know how I do my placement, is when you're looking, like I learned this back in scrapbooking, like when we actually made real scrapbooks, like, you know, like not scrapbooking, yearbooking, where we actually printed, is you never wanted an image looking off the page. So you wanted this out, like anything that was on the right hand side to be looking in to the left, and anything on the left looking in to the right. So that's how I'm choosing. So we can do that. We can always use borders, but I thought we would ink it up. And then this is going to be the front of the card, and we're going to deal with that later. But let's do some coloring. So I have all these stars, hearts, and a moon that we can, like, that all coordinate with this paper. That we can decorate as we see fit, okay? So this is just a lesson in playing. So Justine actually has inspired me to do an elephant in a different color than I normally would do. Because I watched her color, and I even asked her how she chose her colors. And she said, well, I needed a yellow, and she used 13 color, and I'm like, well, that's not what I would use. Well, we're going to do a pink and yellow. At least that's my intent anyway. So we're going to basically make this look like a garden, you know, like a vegetable garden. That's the plan anyway. Alright, so we're going to give this guy, I might go in with that R24. So Jem Stark said that she loves that set, that she just saw Justine use it. Yeah, Justine has done like some killer cards with this set. So we're going to use R22. And we might change that into what did I say, a 24? Because I am all about the scary dark. So you may have seen on our social media that she did a blue giraffe, and because she went from like a B, I think I saw like a 14 down to a B00, she ended up using the scary dark, even though it wasn't the scariest of darks that I've ever seen in my life. It was because she used those darker colors to make the lighter pop. And I'm just trying to give everybody the permission to do that. So what you're seeing me do is I'm kind of like going in and mapping out the shadows. And I'm going to give a little bit of roundness to his head. But remember, we are going to use some yellow, so we're going to kind of trick some of this in here. Isn't he cute? I just love him. But Justine has done some seriously good coloring, and she's made some amazing shorts. I think our team has been like knocking this out of the park with their colors lately, and with their videos, and just I'm super proud of them, you guys. I mean, our team is really, really bringing it. So speaking of the team bringing it, we have an absolutely amazing set of stamps coming out on Friday. They are everything that I have ever wanted and everything I didn't know I needed. But they are large, they're in charge. There's some that are extremely like emotional and thought-provoking, but other ones just make you want to like, they make you want to laugh. They want to like, they bring out all the good memories, okay? Like, they bring out the good memories of childhood. They bring out the good memories of movies. They bring out, they're just good. They're good. And all the things that we love. So I'm just putting it out there like I'm in love. And now this is the R20, so we are using very simple coloring here. I say simple, but now we're going to start bringing in yellows, and you're going to be like, well, what's so simple about mixing reds and yellows and all that stuff? Well, it's just to show you that you can do whatever you want, because it's your card, you can do whatever you want. Like, oh, I'm so glad you can't wait to see them, because if it were me, I'd already be in line buying them. Like, I know I'm a little bit biased, but, you know. Here we go. See how I'm already starting to kind of like overlay that yellow? So basically I'm putting it over some of the darkest areas. And this is the Y06, so this would be my scary dark. It's not so scary. Like, I think if we weren't experimenting, I would almost be like doing like a YR24 and like going really gold with it. But I want this to be something that you're not afraid to do, because I know that some of this crazy coloring is not everybody's cup of tea. Just because it's mine doesn't mean it's yours. But I would love it if like, you know, me being brave made you start being brave. Because really, it's just paper and ink, and we are just here to have a good time. So this is Y04. Isn't he cute just like that? I mean, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I feel like we need to fill in that ear just a little bit. Okay. Y02. Help if I had the brush end out. Now just a little bit of a hint, because we're getting ready to go into spring, and you know, some of us are having rain, some of us are still having snow. Once we start hitting the humid times of the year, you might be wise to take both caps off if you've got juicy markers. Alright, I'm using a Y00 just to fill in the gap and kind of blend the two together. So it's almost like using a colorless blender at this point. So stinking cute. Alright, I am going to go back to the to the R22. I'm not going to go real super cute with this. I'm just going to give her some pink toenails, because in my world she would have pink toenails. Alright. Now if you want your black to be really black in those eyes, to make those eyes pop, you can either use a multi-liner so you have more control, or you can just use your 100, your black marker. And you can color those in. You see, that really brought her to life with those colors, isn't it amazing? And it was, you know, it was just seeing using those weird skin tones that made me think to do it. Now, like Justine was saying, that she doesn't have all of the Copic markers, and so she sometimes has to get creative with it. And I love hearing that she has to get crazy with it to make it work, because that tells me that, unlike me, you do not need all 358 colors to have an amazing piece of artwork. I am putting my markers back, because otherwise I end up with 100 of them on my desk that I have to put away later. So we're leaving her alone now. But okay, can I just show you how cute is that with that paper? I love her. I love her. Love her. Alright. Now we're going to do the zebra. Alright, now we're going to be like... try to decide, do we want him to be traditional, or do we want him to be... Annie's saying it's so adorable. I think we're going to make him a, like... It's St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do a green. We're not going to do a terrible green, but we're going to do a green. I'm just trying to figure out which one. Already know. Got the wrong colors. C3, C1. Alright. Now you know that this is my make-believe world, and I can do whatever I want. It's your card, you can do what you want. So, for his hoofs, I am going to use a C5. Because in my world, at least the hoofs are going to be real looking. So that was the C5. And I'm going to bring in a C3. We're only going to do 2 colors. So she's saying go fun colors. I love it. I usually get people on here that want me to go like super normal. Or maybe I'm the one that wants to do realistic colors, but we're not doing that today. So here we go. This is the G40. This is our lightest color. I normally color lightest or darkest to light, but we're gonna map this out so we don't screw it up. When you don't know, you start light because you can always use that colorless blender, but it's really, 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 really hard to take away color once it's put in there. I kind of am making up where some of the stripes are going on the hair. Or the mane, I don't know, is that what you call it? A mane. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it the mane. Lots of little stripes. You just kind of have to pick which ones you're going to color. So that's why I always map it out. Does anybody else map it out, or do they just go hog wild and just do it? I used to just do it, but now I try to err on the safe side because I'm trying to teach you guys something. Alright, so that was the G40. Now we're going to start going in with that scary dark. Here we go. This is G46, you guys. This is, take a deep breath. And under here, where his little smile is, and where the little nose dots are, which I know they're called nares. I used, I do know biology, but for card making, we're gonna call it the dots. Okay, and we're just gonna do tiny little amounts of this dark color. Okay, so where this little thing did a little Z, we're just going to do a little stripe of it. You guys, you could get by with just doing 2 colors because this is like so small and skinny. Okay. He's looking a little scary here. Do I need to zoom in anymore? Alright, now I'm going to go in with that G43 and we're going to smooth that out. That's my mid-tone color. And by mid-tone color, that's actually the one that you see the most. So the scary dark is what makes you see the highlight, but it's the middle color that actually shines through the most. You're welcome. So, Miss Gem Stark, I'm assuming it's a miss. I'm sorry if I screwed that up. I'm assuming you came over from Justine's channel. I would love it if you would like and subscribe to our channel and hang out with our craziness when we're over here doing our lives. I plan on doing some stuff. I actually even recorded me packing an order or two. I had my last 2 orders today to pack, and I said, why the heck not? So I didn't yell out like addresses. I yelled out like what the cities were, and I said thank you, and I put in like little extra gifts to those people just to say thank you. All right, so here's one thing. Is anything that's white is you still have to put in a shadow to make it come to life. So I'm using a little bit of C3, and I'm just feathering that in with the brush nib. This whole area over by the eye would be in shadow. And if you notice, I'm not even worried about even if I'm going over some of the green, because like the gray will just cause like a cast shadow, like where things overlap. So I'm not getting in a tizzy over how perfect this is. Now I'm using my C1, and I'm just going to extend those lines just a little bit, just to feather those in. And then if it got a little bit too dark, we can go in with a C0, which is almost like a colorless blender. And I am not liking that little muzzle. It seems like he's got a little bit too much of a darkness, so I'm going to kind of bleach him out with this G40. Because it's going to act like a colorless blender because it just pushes that around. Alright, now we're going to use that 100, which is all black. And we're going to do the eyes. If you're not comfortable with this small little nib or this larger nib, you could use your Copic multi-liner or any multi-liner that you have. Or not do it at all. And if you lose the dots, you just use a white gel pen and you add them in. Isn't he stinking cute? Now, look. He picks up the green in that plaid paper. So there's a reason why we used green. Now, I do think that he needs a little bit of a cheeky cheek because he's a baby. He's cute. So we're going to start with an R11, which is something I like to do for cheeks. And it gives him just a little bit. Notice I don't do like the 2 dots in the middle of the face. I kind of like go up the side, kind of like a makeup artist would do. Yep. Keeping it real here. Alright, so I am going to try to pull off what Justine did, because I think that she nailed that blue, but I'm going to stick more with these colors, this, this aqua. But I am going to make his little dots the same color as our paper. Okay, so let's get out a piece of white, and we're going to decide how to use our colors. So did that work? That was the 31 family. Or do we want the 2-1? 2-1 is 2 peach. Let's see what the 5-1 does. I think it's going to be the 3-1 family. But I want you to see how we choose colors. See, that's close, but you're not. It's gonna get too orange. We need to stick with that lighter color. So we're gonna start with this E31, Thank you, Annie. We try to keep things cute around here. That's the goal anyway, right? You've been making some pretty cute stuff, Miss Annie. I've been extremely impressed with what you've been putting out, to be very honest. Okay, I think I said this in the last video when I colored him, but did anybody notice that his nose looks like a little smiley face? That just makes me want to, it just makes me giggle. I love it. So I'm using my lightest color, my E31. My tummy just growled. It's saying it's time to eat. Which I don't know why. I ate quite a bit of my sourdough bread. So today, if you're new here, I make sourdough bread a couple times a week because it's my therapy. And I made, of course, an everything bagel because it's my favorite. And then I made a regular loaf too. But it's so funny, even though that's my favorite, the everything bagel, I still started with the original. I must have been in the mood for some butter. I love me a good piece of regular sourdough with butter. So we're just putting some dabs of this mid-tone color in. I'm not even sure if we're going to go in with the Scary Dark, which would have been the E34. I think it's going to be too much. I'm not doing a real good job of teaching you guys light source today, and that's because I'm trying to keep this whimsical and just, you know, fun. So she says that she can't keep the starters alive. So since you're new to the channel, the reason I even make bread is because my husband started this. I told him he needed to get a hobby while I was traveling, and he started making bread. Well, then we went on vacation, and he put the starter in the refrigerator, and I had no idea that you could put it in the refrigerator and that the gray, like the alcohol, the hooch, would be okay, that you could either throw it, like take it off, or you could stir it in. So I threw the entire thing away thinking that it was bad. So for his birthday in November, I had decided that I was going to make a starter so that he could have his hobby back. Well, that turned into my hobby, and he never got it back. So, long story short, it's my hobby, and now he's doing 3D printing. So we're going to use a B14 as our Scary Dark. Justine, I'm not sure if that's what you did, but that's what I'm doing because, well, it's my card, and you know, you're my inspiration, but I don't have to copy you. I think that's, you know, the spice of life is what makes the world go round, right? So I am going to put a shadow where this hair is overlapping. And I'm going to go down this side of the neck and the back and like under the belly and down this leg. And this whole leg would be in shadow. And this side I'm going to put into shadow, kind of round it off, and right there where the belly overhangs, again, there would be some shadow. So I'm going to be done with the B14. But if you would like me to send you some starter, I will send you some starter that's alive and active. And And I say that because my starter has like made it all around the United States with our design team and customers. So I will share it. I don't want anything for it. I will send it to you because I'm just glad to get it out of my house because I've got so much of it. I don't know what to do with it. So if you would like to try it again, I will send you some active starter. Then you've got to keep it alive. That's all I got to say. That's not on me. Once it leaves my house, I'm not responsible. But it's really funny. Amazon Cloth seems to send me a lot of sourdough stuff. So like people who I have sent starter to have secretly sent me gifts, and then I have to figure out who did it. And it makes me laugh that, I mean, it's very kind, and I'm very blessed that I have people who think that much of me. So that was a B12. We're moving on to a B01. Now this is tremendously more blue-green than what the B12, the 14 family is. So we're going to have to really get blendy with it. And what I mean by that is you have to really kind of go over it and work it. Like you don't move on until you get until that wall disappears. And then we're going to come in with that B00. You could even go into it with a triple. And I'm going to flick some of that up into its, I don't know, or those horns, I don't know what those things are, whatever. It's fine. I'm not pretending to know all the anatomy of a giraffe. I just know that they're dang cute. And he is dang cute. And we're going to go back in with that R11. And where I did some of those ears brown, we're going to finish those off in pink. Because every animal has pink ears, right? I don't know, that's not true, but... And I'm giving him some cheeks. I'm just going over all of that area with some pink. And I don't know if you noticed it, but I went right over his eye with pink. So guess what? We're going to push that back with the colorless blender. And if it doesn't work, then we will use a white gel pen. Alright, so let's let that dry. And how we know it dries. Look at me, I even put my my measurements on the back of everything. Alright, let's get that black out again. He looks really cute. I'm so glad. Thank you. We didn't finish his hoofs. No respectable blue giraffe has albino hoofs. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think we're going to color them in with the C5-3 and be done. My doggies are in here if you couldn't tell. He was shaking his collar. It's not a video of mine without my dogs making an appearance, barking, jumping up in my lap, whatever. So, yay! Look at him, he's cute. He is so cute. So far we've got these 3, and again, these were all 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 squares. Now you could border these, you could do whatever you want. We did the simple version of this card. Now we're going to do this sweet little lion, and I don't even know what color to do him. He's just so cute. I think we're going to do him normal. And by normal, I'm not sure what that means. We'll figure it out together. we're going to start out with a YR24. Because he's going to pull a lot of peach and a lot of yellow. But I didn't want to do him exactly the same color as the elephant, because no respectable lion is going to be the same as a elephant. At least I don't think they would be. I mean, I would want to be like King of the Jungle. So I'd want to stick out a little bit. But then again, I'm not everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea either, so whatever. But I'm having fun. I gave him a huge cast shadow underneath his chin, okay? We're going to give a little flick or two up into the tail. Okay, that was YR27. Now we're going YR24. Kind of like giving him some hair, like flecks of fur. Gonna give him some roundness around his cheeks. Flick up into that tail. I'm just going to do that whole little tail because it's so tiny. This little area is going to be mainly YR24. We're going to do a little bit there. We'll get just a hair there, and then we're going to give a cast shadow around his beard. And he's got a little nose, so we're going to do a little triangle there. Okay, just going to build his little features in. Now I'm going to go in with a Y15. And I'm going to kind of go over those colors, because I'm trying to bring in this butter yellow that's in this paper. So everything, I'm trying to tie everything in for a reason. And I'm going to do the whole Y15 down there at the bottom of his body, okay? And we're going to flick a few little pieces down into the beard. I am going to do the feet in Y15, but then we're going to wash over it with another color, okay? So we're not done is what I'm saying. So now I'm going in with Y13. See something here. Okay. So the Y13 is just kind of like the mid-tone color that we're tying everything in with. I'm even starting to bring some of it into the inside of the ear. Can you hear my bird screaming? That's Gracie and BB. They're mad at each other, and they're being vocal. They're more vocal than I am. They have louder voices than me. Which is fine. Not hard to do. Look how cute he is, you guys. Now I am going to bring in that E33 that we had in a while ago. And I just gave him a little bit of texture in his beard. We're going to bring in the R11, which is the pink, Because he's going to have pink ears. Because why wouldn't he? You guys are being quiet. Okay, so you guys are being a little bit quiet in the chat. I want to make sure I didn't lose you. Okay, so I said I was going to do something different with his feet. I'm going to bring in Y26. Just going to make them look a little bit more gold. And I like his mouth to be, since it's open, I'm going to use an EO4, which is actually called lipstick. The worst colored lipstick I've ever seen in my life. Alright, and I'm going to, did I color in his eyes? I clearly did not color in his eyes. I didn't get a very good impression with my stamp. And that's because I have a photopolymer sticky mat in my Misty and it has air bubbles. Okay, this is honestly the part of the card that I will forget the most, just so that you know. So, let's get to the parts that I do know. This little guy is going to be over here. This little guy is there, there, and there. So what I would like to do is I would like to kind of edge my papers up, like ink up the edges a little bit. So what I'm going to do is bring in tumbled glass. Which is a distress oxide. And I'm just going to very lightly just give it some texture. And it's just a way to zhuzh up your cards just a hair without having to add extra layers, okay? Now if you wanted contrast, you could have done the other color I'm going to do, the saltwater taffy. Because it all matches. But sometimes I like to be matchy-matchy. And you can get as jiggy with it as you want. And I think I'm going to do this guy in blue as well. Why? I don't know. Again, you do you. This is your card. I will always say, you don't ever have to make it the way I would make it. In fact, I scrubbed so many times that I would encourage you to figure out how to make it right the first time. Try it a few times. It's just paper and ink. Okay. So I'm going to put the tumble glass away. And I'm going to bring out the saltwater taffy. Hey Tara, thanks for hanging out and helping me with my sound check earlier today. That was a freaking nightmare. But I didn't want to have a repeat of last week. So we, worked it out. Okay, one thing that I would like to do with this guy, I have no idea where my hearts stencil is, but I would like to put some hearts around my little guy. So this is another way to zhuzh up your card panels without having to add bulk or without having to get out one more something. So I just gave him a little bit of hearts, and you could do that with the in my Heart of Hearts paper. Next, we're going to move over to this sweet little baby. And we're doing the same thing. Again, you can do as little or as much, or you can leave it out, or you can mat it, double mat it, triple mat it. You can use circles. You can do whatever. You could, like, I'm just giving you the base of what to do with this card. And the funny part's going to be is, like, can I remember actually how to put it together? So the one thing I do know is that I can glue this part down. Would have helped if I would have put it in my cupcake and it would have been, like, you know, not clogged. Do you hear my dog? He wants to go outside. He wants to go out the door now because his patience is over. I wish that, you know, I could explain to them that I have a schedule and that it's not always theirs. I'm going to use my little piggy and push him down, get a really nice impression. I am going to now use my glue and do the same thing for this cute little elephant. And I'm going to use my frog because my frog makes me happy too. And he's like St. Patrick's green. Haha. Finally, the girl who loves St. Patrick's Day found something green today. You know what? I think I have green earrings, St. Patrick's Day, and I think I have what are those? Mardi Gras beads that are green. I could have done that. Hindsight's always 20/20. Now, I kind of feel like I want him, like, because he's the front of the card, I kind of want him popped up. But I'm going to leave some space in case I want to tuck some stuff. Where's the rest of my tape over here? So I'm kind of leaving a margin is what I'm saying. I don't know about you, but I always have a little bit of my foam tape kind of hanging off the side of my desk. Okay, this would be cute. Now the one thing that I'm pretty sure I have to do is I have to glue this on to the back. Yep, it says back 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So far, this is what we've got going on. Okay. Now, this is the front. Oh, okay, front of the card. And if I remember correctly, if I remember how to do this, you guys have to give me a minute. Okay, I was right. I did want that one strip to be in the front, so it would be this color. So let's make one. What size did I say I needed that to be? Looks like 2. Let me see if I can find my instructions. let's go. We're going to start with 2 by 5 1/4, and then we'll see. So I'm just butting that up. I'm using a different paper, but it all matches because it's the same paper pack. So we could do this, but I think I like this more bold one better, so let's glue her down. Yep, that's what we're doing. I don't know why I went with that embossed. I don't know where I was going with that. But I showed you a technique with it, so it's still a win. It's a win for you guys that I changed my mind what I was doing. Okay. I have to remember how this goes. So we have to turn this around this way. Okay. And we put down the glue on the flap. This is the scariest part for me. Because if I screw it up and on camera and I can't fix it. Okay, we're going to use our frog. And we're going to give it a minute. Okay. So now the best way to get this to work is this little piece here. You push out. And then you fold this back. This is scary. Does everybody see what I just did? So this is like this now. You're pushing this out. And then you're folding this one back. And you're putting glue on this one that does not have any pattern paper. You could use score tape if you don't trust your liquid glue. I tend to like my liquid glue more than I like score tape. Then, you ready? You move this one over and you adhere it. And we're going to give that a minute. I'm just kind of really rubbing that in there just so it's nice and together. Bracelet's too big, it's driving me nuts. This is what your card looks like now. Okay? And it closes just like that. So, you could decorate this piece, or you could just have it as a pretty little piece of paper. So she's getting thick. She's getting thick because we got more decorations to do. And it's not a me card without her getting thick. So since we need stars, we can add them here. I like that way better. Okay. So we're going to just add them every which direction. We're going to have fun. We're going to decorate. So these were just some stars that I had that I printed with my Cricut. So nothing major or new here. We really need to push that down and make it work. We could do a little heart. Well, that one's almost too big for her. So we could do a little this way. Because you know no card is complete in my world without a little heart. So we're kind of pushing that down. And we could tuck another little star in there. So I'm being real careful not to like glue over that border, that fold. So maybe yeah, we could do that. So we could put a few drops of glue here. Okay. We're going to put an embellishment there because I can't stand that. Now we're going to open her up. We've got hearts there. We could put like a little moon. Because that's the piece that doesn't move. And we could use some of these little stars like right with it. I'm going to use the tiny ones, I think. You love my fun folds. That makes me happy because I do them for you guys. They actually scare me. Believe it or not, I'm a scaredy cat. Sorry that my head gets in the way. These old eyes of mine. Old eyes. My baby's down there crying. You would think I was torturing him being in the room with me that he chose to be in. Oh no, it's so terrible. Anybody that knows me knows that my dogs are my everything and that we just brought 2 new ones into the house. We're a little bit on the cray-cray side, but hey. That would be cute. Okay. So this really is not going to pop off of here unless we did a little bit of white. Let's see. Actually, you know what we could do? Ha! What was that backside one? Okay. 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. Let's do 3. We're flying by the seat of our pants again. 3 1/4. Let's make it 0.75. So remember that piece that I embossed? We're going to go ahead and slap that on there. Now, if you're the type of person that's going, oh my God, where are you going to write on this? You can write on the back. You could decide that you were going to leave that white and write on that. I personally, I don't care. I'm more about the design factor than I am about where am I going to write. I usually will throw like a note inside, like, you know, a handwritten note, or I'll write on the back of the card. So you decide if that matters to you. To me, it doesn't. So that's why I didn't make it a priority for me. Do you hear my baby crying? You would think I was killing him. So I'm just throwing some foam tape on there. And gonna do one more star because I've got them. Okay. Alright, you guys. This is my fun fold card. It says Sweet Baby. So we've met the nursery. We've done a trifold ×2 at this point. And we've got the vegetable colors. We've got stars, and we've got the moon, which I've added, and the heart, and we've got the cutest little fun fold. So to me, I think we've met all the requirements of it. So this is me saying, I think we did good. I'm going to zoom out just a hair. And you know, we forgot like one thing. Oh, we forgot a couple things, but I might let us off the hook with it. But we need to put some white highlights in our stuff. So let's get this marker started. This is the Copic Acrylic. It's a acrylic white ink. And I'm going to make sure his eyes are nice and bright white. Gonna do the same thing with this little girl. And with this zebra. And we can add like some little sparkles to them. Because, I mean, who doesn't want sparkles on their animals? Yeah, I do. I feel like he needs another one up here. Okay, I think this is it for me, but this is a cutie patootie if I say so. No, we forgot one thing. We forgot one thing because I told you it was going to kill me if I didn't fix it. I don't know where my little red hearts are. Are they right here? I know where the red hearts are, but I can't stand that little like corner showing. It's gonna make the OCD crazy in me come out. So we're gonna use our crafter's wand, and we are going to pick out a little paint cart and put it right there to cover up that corner. Now, you guys, I'm done. All right, it is been quite a while, about an hour and 15 minutes or so that we've been online together. I've very much enjoyed this. I've been looking forward to this all day. I've been a little worried about this card because I am not a fun fold queen. But thank you so much. I will be back here on next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. I have no idea if I'm playing along with Craft Roulette or not. Probably the answer is yes, just because I love it and it takes me out of my comfort zone. We do sponsor them quite a few times. I am going to Paperganza, or whatever they're calling it, this summer, so I'm looking forward to that. So any of you that are going to Paperganza, I cannot wait to meet you, and I will support Craft Roulette and Mary as much as I possibly can, as well as stretching my creativity. So see you. I'm gonna go have some pizza.